Alright, what's up, everybody? How are we doing tonight? I got the yawns. I'm going to try to get rolling because today was kind of a long day for me. Just nothing crazy other than just had a lot going on here at home. We're getting new HVAC and also in the midst of an addition, and just a lot of people coming and going in the house, and trying to do my work duties and then trying to make sure our dogs don't run away because our backyard doesn't have a fence, and because we've got contractors coming and going, and so I'm just worn out today, and it's not for anything really other than just added stuff going on. I have no reason to complain because it really wasn't that big of a deal at all, but wait a minute, John, we have a duck race. All right, so here is our owner list for tonight. The list is as of a few minutes ago, so I'm missing payments from a few people, but like I said, that was as of a couple of minutes ago, just before we went live. I don't know if anybody else has paid since then. Complain all you want, Nancy. Third world problems, right? Or what should, no, not third world, first world problems. I had that backwards too. Yeah, first world problems. So anyways, missing payments from Chris Bonnet, Zach Brenner, David Brinkman, Jake Levine, and I think that's it for this list. But that's our list, and then you can see where the divide is for our groups for the filler. We're going to have about, I think, 6 drivers in each group for the filler. And then here is our filler list. 1 through 24. And again, don't know if Bob and Joey already paid or not. If they did, just disregard. But they were the only ones that I was missing as of a few minutes ago. I posted that we were getting ready to start. I ran upstairs to tell the kids good night, and here we are. And I never checked again, so we got to go 24 ducks tonight. Let's do 24 ducks and 48 seconds on the clock. How about that? We'll just double it. Change it up just slightly. Shuffle them one time. And good luck to everybody. Here we go. Easy there, Polos. Oh, jeez. No, they're past that, unfortunately, Jonathan. They're past that phase, unfortunately. Sounds good, Joey. Thanks, man. Like I said, I just hadn't checked in a few minutes, so all good. It's going to come to the wire here. Duck 21's looking good, and he might have 24 in tow on the outside. I think it was 24. Yeah, 24. So 21 is Scott Bastian, and 24 is Micah Robinson. 21 and 24 is what we got. Scott Bastian will get Brittany Zamora, Daniel Dye, Davey Allison, Eric Jones, Harrison Burton, and Jamie McMurray. And then Micah Robinson gets Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Natalie Decker, Nick Sanchez, Riley Herbst, and Ryan Preece. So there you go. All right. I think we're pretty much ready to rock and roll. I am going to do select first tonight. Could be a duck story. Anyway, I'm going to do select first tonight just because that's the way we're going to roll tonight. So we'll get select out of the way. And then we'll do the Donruss Megas last. All right, empty box. And off we go. Good luck to everybody. I do have a Turn 4 Racing driver list made up. And I'm going to try something slightly different for Turn 4. At the end of the break tonight, I will show the list that I have put together. And so if anybody wants to, hang out and chit-chat through that, you're welcome to do so at the end of the break. And I'm also open to suggestions or critiques of the list. Not so much, you'll have to see it to understand what I mean. Not so much how it's assembled as much as just do you like the format or dislike the format. So I want to show you guys, and then we can dive into it. If you want to stick around later and talk, then I'll be glad to do that. So 116 a 1 1/4 for Matt Mills. Going to Dave. Dave strikes twice because he's got Bailey Curry as well. Silver signatures. Going to Dave Colasar. Purple, Tony Breidinger. Going to Dale. 41 of 85. Logano, Andres Perez. Ken Schrader with the red going to Steve. 66 out of 125. And Fuego Jr. Tyler Ankrum. Michael McDowell, silver. Going to Will Black. Will the Thrill. Again, shipping is included with autos and relics. Kenseth. Blue, Kevin Harvick. Going to go to Nate. I had mentioned there right toward the end that we had a couple of previous champions that had been unclaimed. Harvick was one of them. 168 to 175. We had Harvick, Kurt and Kyle Busch, and Matt Kenseth available there toward the end for the longest time. Nate's going to be glad he took Harvick. 86 and 99. Blue signatures, legendary signatures. Kevin Harvick auto going to Nate. Nice hit, Nate. We'll move Bailey over because the blue is going to look better there. Yeah. Like LA Knight would say, yeah. Oh, I think we found a zebra in the wild. Danica Patrick, zebra print. Cue the how you like me now. No, 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 no. Going to Lewis. Nice hit, Lewis. Danica Patrick. Little off center on Danica. Speaking of off center, if anybody hits something and they would like to grade it with PSA, today is the deadline for grading. Today was the deadline for grading. So if you hit something tonight, I can still get you in. After this break tonight, then we're starting on the next one. Jonathan. Yeah. We got Butterbean Queen with the tricolor. And then there's a red, Justin Haley and Carson Hocevar. Hocevar goes to JJ, and Justin Haley would go to Dave. So we can do a random at the end for this if we need to. 1 out of 99. Haley and Hocevar. On a random. And then we got the trackside, Christian Rose. Tricolor, Bobby Labonte. There's the base version of that, so I guess we'll put that with it, and whoever gets the red card is fine. The other person will get the base as the consolation. Normally, with those, I've just been making a random decision and sending them to somebody. Oh, nice. Tie-dye, Sam Mayer. Going to Steve. $11 out of 25 for Steve. First box, yes. First box. Still got 3 packs for the first box. Purple Corey Day, rookie. Going to Lewis. 32 out of 199. And then we got Jeremy Clements with the blue fire suit selective swatches. Almost looks like blue jean material. That's going to go to Dave. Dave. Silver DW. Darryl Waltrip. I'm curious what you guys think about the Roval this weekend. I think it's a given that everybody's going to think SVG's the favorite, right? I mean, I'm not naive to that fact. Nor should I be. You know, like, he's won almost all the road courses this year. So he certainly should be the favorite. But my question is, besides SVG, do you have a pick of somebody that you think can really win this weekend? Who's your pick that you think can really get the job done at the Roval? Beat everybody. Empty box. Nate says Bell. Brian says Blaney. Purple, Bubba Wallace. I got to give Bubba credit. He has run really well this year. He's been up front, not only obviously winning races, but contending for wins. You know what I mean? It's not a fluke. So 76 of 199 for Bubba, going to Robert. So anyway, credit to Bubba and his team, or whatever, whatever that, contributing factors may be. But kudos to them. Brian says not Bubba. I assumed you weren't picking Bubba since you said Blaney. Red, Austin Dillon. Yeah, Bubba's not a road course racer. Going to Michael Clay. Neither is Denny, really. 10 out of 125. I think if I had to pick somebody, I think it could be Tyler Reddick. He's really good on road courses, usually. He's going to have to win to get in the next round, right? Like, I don't think he can point his way in at this point, unless some guys have a really bad day. 9 of 25, Cindric Tie-Dye Sensations goes to Troy. This was a really good, quietly good box. I guess we're into the second box now, but the first box was a really good, quietly good box. Because I was looking at the other tie-dye. We had the tie-dye, we had the zebra, the Harvick. Yeah, I think Reddick is my sleeper pick. How about another tie-dye? Back-to-back packs. Dale Jr. Boy, that's nice. Going to Zach Brenner. Yeah, I think he's certainly, that would make a storyline too, for sure, right? 8 out of 25. It's not the correct door number because he's in his Hendrick fire suit, but I'm sure somebody would argue that could be considered a door number, I guess. Just all a matter of perspective, right? Yeah, we are on the tie-dyes. I'll take it. I love the tie-dyes. William Byron Blue. That's going to go to Lewis. 73 of 175. But yeah, I think Reddick could be the one that emerges. Sparks, Ty Dillon, 2-color sheet metal. Going to Dave. And if I had to pick another guy besides Reddick, if I had to pick another driver, the other one that I think I would choose could be Ty Gibbs. I know he's not in the playoffs, but he's also good on road courses. And has got nothing to lose, right? Like they could go on a completely different strategy and really get aggressive if they want to, because they got nothing to lose. They're there to win a race, and that's it, basically, right? So, and not wreck his teammates. Silver DW. I guess I should add that little ... in there. Silver Ryan Blaney. Frankie Christian Eckes. Mayor, Chase Elliott, Tony B. Purple going to Dale. I wish they were getting ready to race on the oval at Charlotte this weekend. 65/85. I'd be more pumped for that. Although of all the road courses, the Roval is one that I don't really mind. I don't hate it. I think it's partly because they're able to get up on the track and really use a good segment of the track, and it's a little bit more of a hybrid in a way. So, I don't know. White Select, Ryan Blaney. Going to Billy Joe. It's a pretty good color match, too, to the Dent Wizard fire suit he's wearing. 10 out of 99 for Ryan. And then we're going to go 76 out of 99. Trackside Action Signatures, Austin Dillon. That'll go to Michael Clay. Michael Clay with the Dillon auto. I got to tell you guys something real quick. And I don't mean to get like super like, whatever, sentimental or super deep on anyone. But 92 of 125, Spencer Boyd going to Dave. But earlier I was putting a couple cards away in one of my PC boxes. And I had that moment where you have like a random thought that passes through your head. And I just remember thinking, man, how lucky am I, that I get to collect cards and, and then I immediately started thinking about everybody in the group. How lucky are we that we are able to share something we enjoy with a bunch of other people that enjoy it? How lucky are we that we can afford to do this no matter what scale you're a collector, whether your budget is, $4 or $5 a month, or whether your budget's $400 or $500 a month. You know what I mean? But how lucky are we that we get to do what we enjoy, collect cards with other people about a sport that we enjoy. Sometimes I think I am as guilty as anyone when I say this. I think I and we sometimes all tend to get a little too wrapped up in everything and forget to just enjoy it, right? And so it was one of those moments like that I don't know, something was talking to me saying, hey, you got it pretty darn good, right? So if you're feeling some kind of way about your cards or your collection or the hobby, my advice would be to get your cards out and look through them and spend some time with your cards. And it might give you that little that little shot of NOS to get you fired up again. Yeah. Good to just be happy with what we got, right? And so, but like I said, I'm as guilty as anybody. I'm not trying to get on a pedestal here. I'm as guilty of doing it as anyone. 107 to 175. Going to Dave. And then we got 93 and 99. Blue trackside action signatures Brad Keselowski. That's going to go to Michael. Yeah, you tend to get up, wrapped up into who's got what 101 and who's got this jumbo patch or, that's the perfect thing. Scott, you hit the nail on the head. Perfect thing to do if you're feeling a disconnect from your cards. Open up your case or your box or your shoebox or however you store them, your folder, your binder. And if you've got kids or somebody, a friend at home, spouse, anybody that'll listen to you talk about them for a few minutes, just sit down and go through them with them. Because I bet you'll feel better after. I know I do. I have fun just going through stuff, I still remember the first Clint Boyer autograph. When I first got back into cards, I still remember the first autograph I got was a Clint Boyer. And I can take you right to that card to this day. I know exactly which case it's in. I still remember hitting my first 101. I still remember pulling the first jumbo patch. I still remember doing the first break I ever did. I didn't even have a phone stand. I had a roll of duct tape holding my phone up. Just so many things. I remember the first year that we did our Adopt-A-Family for Christmas, and my daughter coming home and telling me about, her classmate and how, one of her friends in class didn't think they were going to get anything for Christmas. And I shared that with you guys and didn't ask for anything at all. It was I just wanted to share with you guys because I was proud of my daughter for telling me, and recognizing what was going on. And man, our group stepped up in a big way. If you guys remember, we got all kinds of stuff for that family for Christmas. So your mom's been gone 2 years now. Yeah, Todd. Absolutely. Yeah, we've got my dad, the anniversary of my dad's death is on my wife and I's wedding anniversary. So that's, I joke now that was my dad's way of saying, you're never going to forget, because I'm going to go out on a day that you're not going to forget, Like, that was my dad's sense of humor. So he'd say, I'll show you, you're not going to forget about me. Watch this. So, so Friday's our 10-year anniversary. This Friday is my wife and I's 10-year anniversary. And also the 4-year anniversary of my dad's passing now. So 36 and 99, Red and Fuego, Denny. Going to Mario. Speaking of Adopt-A-Family, are we doing that again? I remember the first year and really enjoyed. Yes, Scott, we are doing it again. We've done it the last 2 years now, and I don't know. Last year I did the Amazon list, and I don't know if people enjoyed that as much. I think what we'll do this year instead is I might try to, if people want to donate, just cash, I think we might do it that way, and maybe I'll try to do a little bit more interactive as far as showing everybody what the family requests, and then maybe we even do like a video when we're walking around buying the stuff. You know what I mean? Like try to do a live and take you guys along on the journey, sort of thing. 46 of 75. Green, Bobby Labonte. Going to Kevin Bennett. And of course, I can take a picture of us, or even a video of us dropping things off in the front of the school building, but I can't take pictures or video inside the school for some obvious reasons. So Bailey Curry signatures going to Dave. Yeah. First pack auto, Steve Meal, 30 years. Oh, that's cool, Mike. We've really done some things over the years. We've really pulled together through some times. I know we've helped some families. You know, we've done a couple little fundraisers for folks. 51 out of 85. Purple, Daniel Hemrick. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're proud, Scott, and I hope everybody else is too. Because it's your guys' group. You know what I mean? Like, it's got nothing to do with me. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. If it wasn't for you all, I'm just some guy sitting in his basement talking to himself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm nobody. It's because of you all as why we're able to do the things that we're able to do, and you know, it's why the breaks fill the way they do, and why, you know, people look out for each other the way they do. I didn't do any of that. You guys, it's all the people, you know. 77 of 125. Caden Honeycutt going to Sea Salt. So, but yeah, I don't know. I was thinking earlier, I was putting some stuff away, and I just thought, man, we're pretty lucky. Silver, Lane Riggs. The problem with the Amazon thing with the Adopt a Family was a lot of what the kids asked for last year was really hard to find on Amazon. And so I guess we'll see what happens. 52 of 175, Daniel Dye. He'll go through the filler to Scott Bastian. Oh, you saw it at 175 somewhere, Scott? That's good. I heard today that it was down to 200 at a couple places. Noah Gregson, silver signatures. Going to Scott Bastian. I should specify. Oh, yeah. Purple, Terry Labonte. Going to JR. Non-big box. Oh, okay, I got you. Just like some miscellaneous websites. It'll come down. It just has to. 45 of 199. Purple cherry. Silver Riley Herbst. Well, that's cool. I hope they have fun. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Scott. And like I said, if you got any of you guys that want to really chat through some stuff with Turn 4, I have a preliminary driver preview list. Oh, I don't know why I'm putting that as top layer. Just goes in a sleeve. But I have a preliminary list that I've worked up to do a break, and I'll talk through that with you guys. It'll be hard for me to talk through it and focus on that while I'm opening these, because you guys know how I am. I'll get sidetracked and I'll start slowing down, and so yes, I have seen her, Scott, and I actually I was thinking that after Halloween I would start saving up some cards for kids, and we could send her a care package with some packs of cards for the kids. 90 out of 125, Anthony Alfredo. Yeah, I have a couple ideas with Turn 4 as far as mixers. Parker Chase, Sparks Fire Suit. And like I said, we can... When I can show you the list and sort of explain what I'm thinking, then I can probably put a whole cohesive thought together for you. But yeah, I was thinking if I think I have enough stickers for. I think I have probably like 25 stickers. I don't imagine she probably has more than 25 students in her class. So I could put a care package together with, so every kid could have a sticker, and every kid could have a nice pack of cards to open. And I would try to really mix them up, and I've even got probably some parallels I could throw in there so that they're not all just base cards. I would hate to put like relics or autos in there, because then kids would start to fuss over them, You know how kids get. 45 of 49, Ryan Blaney. Going to Billy Joe. Yeah, that would be super cool. That would be super cool. One of my teachers, this will tell you guys how old I am. Check this out. One of my teachers, one of my high school math teachers, he was a high school basketball coach too. But when I was a junior in high school, he applied to be on the first Survivor episode. That's how old I am. But he wanted to do it. He thought it was super cool, which, I mean, I've watched Survivor for, a couple decades now, and my wife and I enjoy watching it together, and we're not currently watching this season because my wife has to have surgery in December, and so she said, let's just record them and we'll watch them all together after I have surgery. I said, okay, sounds good to me. So that's what we're going to do. So I have no idea what's going on with that. But anyway, yeah, one of my teachers applied to be on Survivor. Didn't get it, but he sent in everything and submitted to do it. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Mario. Silver SVG. You know, and racing, sports in general, right? I think we can all agree, whether it's racing or any sports, if you can get kids to be around sports, there's a lot of life lessons that can be learned from sports. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that you can learn, whether it be racing or, you know, baseball or soccer or golf or football or whatever, swimming, track and field, whatever. There's so many life lessons that can be learned from it. So, blue, Sam Mayer, going to Steve. Gonna apply. Heck yeah, Mario, I hope you make it. If you make it, we're gonna have to have I'm gonna have to get you a Rip It Racing t-shirt so that you can wear it on Survivor. How cool would that be? We could be watching you every week on CBS, and I'd be like, hey, look, there's our shirt. Silver, Matt Kenseth. Yeah, sports are so huge for kids. So many good things come out of it. You know, teamwork, hard work in general, right? You learn how to win and you learn how to lose. Like, winning's fun, and losing sucks, but you also have to know how to lose, you know, with some class and dignity. So, Luke Fenhouse, white, going to Sea Salt, 60/99, white rookie. And then we got a silver signatures, Tony Breidinger, going to Dale. She continues to hit pretty consistently. Let's go with an all-female setup here. All girls on the stands. Yep. Oh, here we go. Color wheel incoming. Wake up your neighbor. Call your friends. Tell them we got a color wheel incoming. We got a red BK on top of it. We're going to move Brad out of the way to see what we got. William Byron on the color wheel. Nice. That's going to go to Lewis. I really like how these look this year, too. That's really nice. Man, the back of that's got some print lines that I don't love. But that's not a card you would typically want to grade anyway, just because of how thick and difficult the grading would be on it. But super cool card. Byron. I'm not going to leave Tony B up there long. The zebra print can stay, but the color wheels got to be up there with it. We'll go back to the red BK now. Congrats again, Lewis. Kavroom checklist is great. I think the massive cards long term. Yeah, maybe. 47/125 for BK, going to Michael. I don't know how to feel about Kavroom. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to say the jury's still out for me on those. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around it for sure. And within our racing community, there's going to be plenty of excitement. Ty Gibbs for Storm Ghost with the tricolor. And then we got a Kenseth trackside. Considering we've never had a Kaboom, Kavroom, whatever you want to call it, I do think they will be highly sought after. Red Ernie Irvin. Swervin' Irvin going to Dave. 74 out of 125. For those that are watching, I will tell you guys, no break tomorrow on Wednesday. We're going to take tomorrow off. Everybody catch a breather. I got more stuff happening here at the house between my work and then contractors and more HVAC people coming and all that stuff. Just so we'll take tomorrow off. Thursday, we will do a Thursday night. I'm going to plan to post the first turn 4 break. And we'll fill it for Friday. 18 of 75, Caden Honeycutt going to Sea Salt. And then we'll kind of be all about turn 4 this weekend, so to speak. Trackside action signatures, Lanning Castle. Going to Dave. It's not an unlisted driver either. Dave just chose Lanning Castle. And then Friday, obviously, is release day. Turn 4 comes out on Friday. We'll probably look at a lunch break. Friday, we've been doing lunch breaks. I just won't have an exact time until I know I've got the boxes here. But as soon as I have the boxes, then I can post the break. I mean, I could post the break at a set time, I guess. I just wouldn't be able to open it until the box is here. But we can do a lunch break with turn 4 on Friday with the groups format like we've been using for those. And then probably post another one Friday. And probably take Saturday off and then maybe post one on Sunday. Maybe do a mixer format on Sunday with it. And like I said, at the end of tonight's break, we'll chat through. I've got a couple ideas rolling around in this noggin on my shoulders. And anybody that wants to hang out for a few minutes, I'll see what you guys think. Purple Caden Honeycutt. 129 or 199. We got the green a moment ago. Now the purple. We are rainbow chasing. Don't go chasing rainbows. Selective swatches, AJ Allmendinger. I don't think that's how the song goes. Going to Dave. We've still got our 2 megas to go. Hey, slamming Sammy Smith. Tie-dye trackside. That's nice. Going to Jonathan Heitzman. Eight out of 25. Oh, let me tell you guys something I was really bummed about at the card show. I don't think I ever told you guys about this. I had what I felt like was a great idea for the card show on Sunday, And I was super excited about it. Anybody can ask my wife; she'll tell you the same thing. I was super fired up about this, and I was so disappointed that I didn't get to use any of them. So on Tricolor BK on Sunday at the card show, I had devised this whole idea a couple weeks ago. I went to my bank and ordered $2 bills. And I had a stack of $2 bills with me that I wanted to give out as change. You know, I thought it would be especially cool for any kids that are buying. When you give them change, give them a $2 bill. They would think, man, that's cool. I probably have never, most kids haven't seen a $2 bill, you know, and it might get some kids excited, and, you know, maybe their buddy wants to come over and buy something just so he can get change, you know, that kind of angle. But I just really thought it'd be fun interaction. I worked with a guy that used to get a bunch of $2 bills, and he'd use them at the bar for tips. Every time he'd order a beer, he'd give a $2 bill for the tip, you know. 16/99, red, Bubba. Going to Robert Rich. So, anyway, long story short, Sunday came and went, and I didn't get to give out a single $2 bill. I kid you not. And my wife was with me. Like I said, you guys can ask her. My wife was with me. I kid you not. Everybody paid with exact change. If it was $6, they handed me $6. If it was $18, they handed me $18. Every single person. And at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I looked at her and I said, I don't know that I'm ever going to get to use these $2 bills today. I didn't. Still have them. I was so bummed. So I'm going to save them for the next show and see if I have any better luck. I just thought it'd be fun. We'll see what happens. Empty. Find that more funny. Oh, trust me, my wife, she was amused by it because I was, you know, one of those things where you're like, man, this is going to be great. And you build it up in your head, right? Like that's what I did. I built it up in my mind as, oh, this is going to be so fun. People are going to love this. Well, there's no people. Nobody loved it. Nobody even knew. Nobody saw. Like, just one of those things. I'll also tell you guys, so I've been talking about, obviously, for a while, we're in the middle of doing an addition. It's not like, it's a big room, but it's not a massive undertaking because it's just a living room. Like, we're not adding on anything crazy to our house. We're just adding a living room, basically. So the original idea, for anybody that's not familiar, the original idea was, hey, we'll put a mini split in the new room for heating and cooling. I think we might have panini points here. We do. 250 panini points. I don't know what's worse, getting a non-race used relic or panini points. Anyway, I will just randomly insert that like we've done in the past to somebody's stack. Blue Velocity, Lawless Allen. So anyway, we were going to put a mini split in our new room. And basically what that is it's its own little heating and cooling system for a small space. And, you know, as I talked to our contractor, he was like, how old is your furnace? And I was like, I don't know, man. You know, it's probably 10, 15 years old. Silver Explosion, Christopher Bell. So he goes, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but it might be smart that you consider just replacing your whole system and have them just run ductwork to the new room. Because, if your system's 10 or 15 years old, and I go, no, you make a good point. Like, I didn't want him to say that, but he made a very valid point, right? Like, if you're going to spend the money, for one thing, you ought to really look at your options. So have our HVAC guy come out, and of course he's like, yeah, he goes, the easy thing to do would be to put the mini split in. He goes, but the right thing to do would be to replace everything. And so we go downstairs, and he's like, here, let's look and see how old your furnace is. And he pops the cover off. We look at the little placard, and it says 1991. Yeah, 1991. You didn't mishear that. So needless to say, we got new furnace, new air conditioning, which was not in the budget or part of the plan, but here we are. So, Silver Explosive Martin Truex Jr. Isn't that the way construction always goes, though? Anytime you do any kind of project. One year younger than you. Yeah. Just crazy, So, a furnace that's, yeah, exactly. A furnace that's 34 years old, it's time to replace. Like, at this point, it was the right decision. And so, I feel good about it. I'm glad we're doing it. It just wasn't, like I said, wasn't part of the plan and was not part of the budget. So all of us that are adults, we all know that part of being an adult sucks. So, Blue Velocity, Sammy Smith. Yeah, Zach, exactly. But, so the decision making, Zach, if you're familiar with HVAC, Zach, the decision making came down to, the mini split or replace the whole system. And we were staring at about $5,000 for a mini split, which was part of the budget and part of the plan. So it was smart. I'm thankful that our contractor said what he said. I'm thankful that we made the decision we made. It was the right call. You know what I mean? Like, everybody did what I would hope they did or would do in that situation. They all executed. They all came in clutch, with good sound reasoning and thought process. And so, yeah. Heat exchanger can leak, causing carb. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things, right? Like, I told my HVAC guy, you had me at 1991. When you said 1991, I knew what we were doing right then and there. Like, there was no weighing the options. That was the decision. So, yeah, I appreciate you saying that too, though. Gives me additional peace of mind to hear somebody else say, hey, that was the right decision. But yeah, I'm glad we did it. In a few years when that furnace would have broke down, I would have been kicking myself. And heck, it may not even have been a few years. It may have been next year or whatever, 2 out of 249, Carolina Blue, Kyle Busch. Goes to Brian Jacobs. So anyway, that's just, one of those deals. Blue Velocity, Kyle Petty. No, I know. I know. I do social for my heating and cooling guy. I do his social media. I manage his social media accounts. And before I worked for him, I worked for another heating and cooling company for 3 years doing their social media accounts. And yeah, I know. I mean, it is what it is. We all know how it is. Nothing's like it was years ago. Ooh, this is sharp looking. Purple cracked ice. Spellbound. Connor Zillich. 31 out of 149. That's sharp. Zillich going to, I think it was Jake. Yeah, Jake. Yeah, for sure. Well, and the same with air conditioning. They're constantly updating the refrigerant and all that stuff. So yeah, that purple ice was sharp, very sharp. Blue Velocity, Daniel Suarez. Logano Optic. Ryan Blaney season highlights. Brent Cruz. You're in plumbing. Oh, yeah, for sure. Heating and cooling units were a year old, and I said, say let. There you go. That's big selling, right? If your roof is in good shape and you have fairly new heating and cooling or / appliances, yeah, say less. That is like the green light for sure. Souvenir swatches, Kyle Larson. Going to Nick Marquette. Yeah, we had our old one was what was it? A Bryant, I think was the brand. And I think this is now Temp something. The new AC and furnace is already in. They've already got that stuff replaced. They're coming back tomorrow though to run the new ducts and get that all set up for the addition. So dang, their heat pump went out already. Yeah, Tempstar, yep. Boy, I got us way off on a tangent, didn't I? Here we are doing a card break talking about home appliances and Tempstar is made by Carrier. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, if you're in plumbing, then you see all the same companies a lot, I'm sure, because I think don't a lot of your suppliers provide both? Like a lot of the suppliers do HVAC and plumbing both, I think. Souvenir swatches, Jeff Gordon. Going to Robert Rich. How did we get to this point? Yeah, there's been a few times where we've gone off the rails, Jonathan. We definitely took a left turn at Albuquerque here. That's okay. That's what makes it fun, honestly. Optic Blue, I still don't know what to call this, but 16/99, Jamie McMurray. J-Mac was a filler driver, and we'll go to Scott Bastian. Scott Bastian is a Lennox guy, he says. Spellbound Junior N. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. We had the old company that I worked for, we had a couple of suppliers around here, and HVAC Talk brought to you by Tempstar. Blue Jeff Gordon. And then we got a Blue Ice Spellbound Richard Petty. That is 15 out of 35. Going to Glenn. That's solid. Optic Denny. Luke Fenhouse. Silver Explosive Austin Dillon. Going to Michael Clay. I was going to say, it's going to depend on which Scott you're talking to. Matty D, Blue Velocity. Connor Zilich, L. Scott and Scott. This part of the show is called Scott Talk. Yeah, so Scott Dixon, I was just thinking about the refrigerant for the cars, and that's the stuff that's highly flammable too, isn't it? Like, it's explosive, the stuff you're talking about. Because I think you guys had to like have a special. Isn't that why you had to get special training or certification or whatever? Yeah, this is like the after dark. I mean, we've gone so far down the rabbit hole tonight. Yeah, explosive. That's what I thought. Yeah, we are so far down the rabbit hole. But that's quite all right. Suited up, Justin Allgaier with the cracked ice fire suit. That's going to go to Michael Clay. Worse for the environment. So let's get one that's worse for us. More dangerous for us. Yeah, exactly. It's about like the Teslas in Florida after the hurricane. Oh, they're green. They're better for the environment, but then they were blowing up in the garages. That ocean water salt was reacting with them and causing all kinds of problems. 68 of 249, Carolina Blue, Tyler Reddick. Going to Nate. Oh yeah, HVAC's it's a moneymaker for sure. Blue Velocity, Carson Hocevar. And you guys know how everything goes up in price. That's why I was kind of like, it was a no-brainer to replace our stuff now because I'm going to have to replace it sooner than later, right? Being 34 years old. The price isn't going to go down anytime soon. And matter of fact, it's probably never going to go down. It's just going to get more expensive. So, yeah. Yeah, trade school, if you can get your kids to a career center, learn a trade, or just do blue collar work in general. You don't even have to go to trade school, or if you don't want to, just go learn from somebody as an apprentice or whatever. Eric Jones, Blue Velocity. Spellbound, Chase Elliott, T. Blaney. We got Connor Zillich, season highlights, and Blue Velocity, Jamie McMurray to close things out. Let me move some stuff around, and then let me move some stuff around, and then I will do a random and our recap, and then anybody that wants to chit-chat and hang out and talk turn 4, we can do that as well. But let's take care of all the break business at hand first real quick. So let's get I'm going to get the tablet fired up while I do the recap to see if that'll help wake it up a little bit. So, to recap, we had Justin Allgaier suited up, souvenir swatches Jeff Gordon and Kyle Larson. AJ Allmendinger selective, Parker Chase Sparks, Ty Dillon Sparks, and selective Jeremy Clements. Short prints, tie-dyes, Sammy Smith, Dale Jr., Austin Cindric, and Sam Mayer. We had 4 tie-dyes. Wow. I guess I didn't realize that. Autographs, Lanning Castle, trackside, Tony B, blue trackside, BK, Noah, Bailey Curry, Kevin Harvick, blue, Austin Dillon, blue, and Bailey Curry, number 2. And then we had the color wheel, William Byron, and the zebra print, Danica. And then, of course, we had the random for the Justin Haley and Hocevar, and I've got a base to go to whoever doesn't win it. So we'll do that real quick. And then we can chit-chat turn 4 for anybody that wants to. So Carson Hocevar. And Justin Haley. There we go. Hate working on vehicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to go to the Justin Haley spot, which happens to be unlisted. So that'll go to Dave. And then the base card will go to the host of our spot in JJ. So the red will go to Dave, base will go to JJ. And then we have the points that I will give out at random to somebody. So for anybody that wanted to stick around and talk turn 4, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking that I want to try. Just hear me out. So this would be a 5-box half case format. And I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this on your screen or not, but what I did was I paired up, every spot has 2 drivers. I'll try to get a little closer, maybe that'll help you guys see it. But every spot has 2 drivers. And some of them I tried to make sense, like Alex Bowman and Blake Harris are together. Austin and Ty Dillon are together. Brian and Hayden Deegan are together. Chase and Bill Elliott go together. Just trying to think of others that really made sense. Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick are together. Jeff Burton and Harrison Burton. So anyway, you see what I was trying to do here, and then it goes on over this way, like William Byron and Rudy Fugle. Kyle Larson was with Cliff Daniels. Kyle Busch is with Richard Childress. Richard Petty and Kyle Petty are together. Like I tried to put some thought behind it to an extent. Now it's not a perfect system, but what I did was I broke down the list based on who has autos and who has kavrooms, and there are 51 drivers on the checklist that do not have an autograph or a kavroom. So I really felt like I had to go this route to make it make sense, because you got a large chunk of the drivers that don't have autos or kavrooms. There's 132 drivers on the checklist, and 51 of them don't have auto or kavroom. So I tried to make it make sense, and every pair on this list, one of the 2 drivers has a bigger hit potential, meaning they either have an auto or kavroom in their checklist potential. But yeah, so this format with the pricing that you see would be for 5 boxes. That would give us 20 cards. It's pretty close to the same as what a prime 3-box break would be, because we got 7 cards in prime. Once in a while we got 8, but it was, it was a 7-card box. So, we're pretty close to what 3 prime boxes would be as far as total cards, with 5 turn 4. Now, I do think the flip side is, I think the cards might look a little nicer than they did in prime, if I'm being honest. So, just looking at the list and what I did here, for, like let's use Scott Dixon as an example, because I know Scott's still watching. The Brandon Jones spot, I put Brandon Jones with Christian Eckes. It would be $10. That would get you into 5 boxes. Knowing the cost of the boxes, I'm trying to make this make sense. I think that is certainly doable if you're a Eckes or Brandon Jones collector. I don't think that's pie in the sky. And then if you get down to some of the more popular drivers, maybe like a Chase Elliott and Bill Elliott, $40 for the 2 of them. The most expensive spots are going to be 40. Connor Zilic comes in at 40. Dale Jr.'s spot would come in at 40. Jeff Gordon. You got Jimmy Johnson at 35. Kyle Larson would be at 40. Exactly, Scott. And I literally thought about that when I did it. Like I said, I tried to put some thought behind some of this. You know, there's only so many things that make sense. I wanted to go with the obvious things first, and then I tried to think about some of our collectors. And like I know specifically I have somebody that likes to collect Todd Gilliland and Michael McDowell. And of course they're teammates, so they went together. I know we have people that collect the Gray brothers, so I kept them together. So, you know, I just wanted to try something different. So this is probably what we'll shoot for on Thursday night, unless anybody thinks I'm crazy. And if you do think I'm crazy, if you don't like this, you think this sucks, I'd rather you tell me, Mike, I think that sucks. I don't want to do that. But if nobody thinks this is a terrible idea, then this is kind of what I want to try for Thursday night's break, and see what we can do with it. Because for one, it gives everybody 2 drivers in the break. And two, because the spots are a lot less, we've only got, I think I got 66 spots on this list. Because I basically split the checklist in half. You know, you got a better chance of hitting. So, or the cards sleep. So, Zach, it's my understanding that the, I don't know if they're all encased, but I know for sure that at least the autographs are encased. Like, they're going to come in mags, 1-touches. That's the way it's advertised. So the autographs will be in a 1-touch straight away. I don't know if every card in the box is in a 1-touch or if it's just the autos. I don't know, to be honest. So I'm trying to plan ahead, but I'm assuming that I'm kind of assuming that they'll all be encased, because I don't know why you would not do it that way. But regardless, I'm prepared for whatever it turns out to be. I've got plenty of 1-touches here. I ordered more, so we're good on those. And I've got plenty of supplies. You know, we're in good shape as far as whatever they throw at us. But anyway, so I just, like I said, I wanted to get that in front of some folks and see what you guys think. And, yeah. So, but again, this is for a 5-box. This is half a case. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on that Scott Dixon mentioned earlier was mixers. And I 1000% agree with Scott on, I think mixers will ultimately be the best format. You know, we could do like 2 boxes of turn 4 and maybe 2 or 3 boxes of select, or 2 or 3 boxes of prism, or even 2 or 3 boxes of Donruss. But just making them as a mixer will lessen the blow and help supplement the fact that you're not getting a lot of cards. And then the other thing I have on my mind that we can do is the Bad Monkey box that I use for breaks, where I add hits. I can absolutely do that and pair it up with turn 4, so that we get a small, you know, another supplemented box full of hits, basically. Or, you know, at least numbered cards and hits. But that was another thing that was on my mind, because with the Bad Monkey box, I can do everything at the actual value of the cards. You know what I mean? Like, I can put a lot of value into that, and we can really crank up the supplements of a break really fast when I do it that way. So now, granted, probably would be mixed product, but it's just one of those things where we're going to have lots of options in front of us, and I think all of the mixer options are going to be great options going forward. You know what I mean? Like, heck, we could even do. I could foresee, doing a 4-box mixer with Donruss, Prism, Select, and Turn 4. Right? Like, we could do all the products for the year. Once Prism comes out, we could do all those products for the year. And then National Treasures is going to be coming out probably December, January, is my guess. If Panini does what they normally do, they'll probably release National Treasures right at Christmas time, because they're good at that. But anyway, like I said, any thoughts you guys have on it? I think at the current trends with the price coming down, I think it'll be okay. You know what I mean? The bone that I had to pick with Turn 4 was it was not worth $300 or even $250 a box. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. Like, you're almost going to have to hit a Kavroom in every box to justify it, and that's not going to happen. So that was my biggest bone to pick. Once it's, if you guys are saying you're already seeing it at 175, that tells me it's probably going to come down even more. Anything in the 150 to 175 range, I think makes sense. I actually think it may even go below 150. I think it should be in the 120 to 140 range. But I don't think it's atrocious at 150 to 175. But at 250 to 300, yeah, that was bad. So yeah, 5K. Yeah, that would be steep, right? If it was $300 a box and you did 5 boxes, you're $1,500 in. So, yeah, I think it's going to be okay though once it comes out. I think the price will settle in. So, yeah. So anyway, that's all I really wanted to share with you guys for now. I might even do a video tomorrow night or something and talk, just kind of do like I've done where I sit at the computer and talk through the checklist and answer questions about that for anybody that maybe wants to ask questions or have me look up something or whatever. Have a little TED Talk. But that's the route I want to try for this first break. I think it'd be fun. I think it'll work out. And I think it makes sense. It's a little bit different than what we've been doing, obviously, but it's a big checklist with 132 drivers. And if we're going to do a break where we're only going to get 20 cards, we got to find a way to condense that checklist down so that not everybody's getting skunked. Like, that's part of it when you break high-end stuff. People are going to get skunked. That's just part of the deal. But if we can lessen the blow a little bit, that's important. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to achieve here. So again, if you guys, anybody that's later on, if anybody who sees this watches it and you think I'm a doofus, a psychopath, a butthead, whatever you want to call me, I'm fine with that. And I'd rather you tell me, Mike, you have lost your freaking mind. That is a terrible idea. I'd rather it be that than, we try it and nobody wants to do it or whatever. Nobody wants to participate. So, which I think everybody will be excited about. I think it's going to be a fun product now that now that the price has come down, I think that, like I said, that was my biggest hiccup. So anyways, so like I said, we'll see what happens, but I will get a schedule posted tomorrow for the week. Again, no break tomorrow. No break tomorrow. I'll get a schedule posted tomorrow, though. And I'll post our first turn 4 break on Thursday night. I don't know the exact time. Probably going to shoot for like, probably 7:30. Probably 7:30 Thursday night is what I'll shoot for. And then on Friday, we'll do a lunch break with a single box of turn 4. I'll probably split that up into about 8 groups like I've done for Select. It's going to feel a little expensive compared to Select because it is more expensive than Select. But, that, if we get 4 cards and there's only 8 groups, then you're potentially only going to have maybe 4 people that could get skunked. So, again, just trying to lessen that potential for everybody as much as possible. But we will do the lunch break on Friday with a box, and then I can post another break on Friday night, whether it be a redo of the 5-boxer dual driver format, or whether we go to a different format altogether. And maybe people will like the driver groups format for these products, and we just do 1 to 2 boxes at a time with driver groups. Maybe that makes a little bit better sense for some folks too. So we'll play it by ear, and like I said, I'll post a schedule though, and probably Sunday though we'll shoot for a mixer of some sort, because I think ultimately turn 4 is going to be best served as a mixer. I think it's going to be a nice supplement to breaks. So anyway, that's all I got for tonight. I appreciate everybody. We got into all kinds of stuff tonight, so hope everybody had fun. Enjoy the rest of your evening, what's left of it, and we'll see you guys next time.